What's the rush? If we do not drop a city charter, there is a high, I mean, it's clear to me from this meeting that there is a high level of community, both from this meeting, from the feedback I'm getting via email, which is running about 3-to-1 in favor, and I'm not kidding. I was just telling a reporter up here, I have about 1,000 emails that have come in the last week that I'm slowly but surely working my way through. But they are running about 3-to-1 in favor of exploring our municipal options, okay? I'm going to show you a poll in a second, and that reflected that reflected that folks want to pursue the issue. If we don't drop a city charter for a city of Brookhaven, there is a rule of the House Governmental Affairs Committee through which this bill must travel that says that any legislation creating a new city has to be introduced in the first session of a 2-year term, so the 2011 legislative session, in order to be considered in the second session of the 2-year term, the 2012 legislative session. And in the interim, there has to be a feasibility study performed by the Carl Vinson Institute at the University of Georgia. And that will happen. That's one of the things that the citizens group is ultimately going to be charged with. If we move forward with a City of Brookhaven, they're going to have to raise the funds to perform the feasibility study that will give us all the answers about the numbers that everybody wants to know in greater detail. Not just citizens want to know, not just the press wants to know, but in fact, the General Assembly requires that information be vetted out in a study. So that's why we have to drop it this year. If we don't drop it this year, then you see how the rule operates. If we decide in 2012, in the interim period here, if we decide we want to move forward with the City of Brookhaven, we do all the studying we need to do, we get that feasibility study done, then the earliest we can, and then we decide in 2012 we want to drop a bill for the first time, then the earliest it can be done is 3 years from now, 2014. So it is very important that that bill be dropped before the end of this legislative session. That's why it's, and that's why we're going to do that. With regard to the annexation legislation, we will make that work for the community if that is what the community wants to pursue.